Your eyesight is getting worse, and if you live a modern lifestyle, the research suggests it was almost inevitable. Myopia rates have doubled in the United States over the past 40 years and are projected to affect half the world's population by 2050. But here is what is remarkable. Research has identified the single most powerful intervention for protecting your vision and slowing myopia progression. It costs nothing. It requires no equipment. A landmark study published in Ophthalmology found that children who spent an additional 80 minutes per day outdoors had significantly lower rates of myopia development than those who stayed inside, regardless of how much time they spent reading or on screens. A separate randomized controlled trial in China assigned school children to an extra 40 minutes of outdoor time per day. After 3 years, myopia incidence was 30% lower in the outdoor group. The research for this video spans 15 years of myopia epidemiology and intervention studies. Rose and colleagues published foundational data in Ophthalmology in 2008 linking outdoor time to myopia rates. He and colleagues in 2015 conducted a meta-analysis confirming the outdoor exposure protective effect. A JAMA ophthalmology study by Huang and colleagues projected global myopia prevalence to 2050. And a 2012 review in Ophthalmology by Sherwin synthesized the biological mechanisms. The conventional belief has been that screen time and excessive near work, reading, studying, cause myopia by straining the eyes. This intuition is partly correct. Near work does appear to be a contributing factor. But research reveals the far more important variable is not what you look at up close, it is what you miss when you are indoors. The scale of the myopia epidemic is alarming. Research published in JAMA Ophthalmology projects that by 2050, approximately 4.8 billion people, half the world population, will have myopia. High myopia, which carries significantly elevated risk of retinal detachment, glaucoma, and macular degeneration, is projected to affect 1 billion people. The primary driver of this epidemic is not genetics changing in 40 years. Populations do not change genetically that fast. Research comparing populations with similar genetics but different lifestyles makes the lifestyle driver undeniable. Studies of East Asian populations, some of the highest myopia rates globally, show that children in rural settings with more outdoor time have dramatically lower myopia rates than urban peers with more screen time and less outdoor exposure. Genetics are identical. The only variable is lifestyle. The Rose 2008 study in Ophthalmology was among the first to isolate outdoor time as the key variable. Researchers followed children in Sydney and Singapore, two populations with similar ethnic makeup but dramatically different myopia rates. Sydney children spent significantly more time outdoors and had much lower myopia rates. The study controlled for near work, parental myopia, and other confounders. Outdoor time emerged as the strongest independent protective factor. The mechanism behind outdoor light's protective effect centers on dopamine. Research shows that bright natural light, which averages 10,000 to 100,000 lux versus indoor light at 200 to 500 lux, stimulates retinal dopamine release. Dopamine signals the eye to stop elongating. Myopia occurs when the eyeball grows too long axially, too much length, causing light to focus in front of the retina instead of on it. Dopamine release inhibits this axial growth. The dose-response relationship between outdoor time and myopia protection has been studied carefully. Research suggests that 2 hours per day of outdoor exposure is the threshold that consistently shows significant protective effects in children. Below this level, protection diminishes. Above 2 hours, benefits plateau somewhat. For adults already myopic, research shows that increased outdoor time may slow further progression, though it cannot reverse established myopia. Nutrition also plays a documented role in eye health, though evidence is stronger for degenerative conditions than myopia progression. Research clearly supports certain nutrients for protecting the retina and macula from age-related damage. Lutein and zeaxanthin, found in leafy greens and eggs, accumulate in the macula and filter high-energy blue light. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA, are structurally essential for photoreceptor membranes. Vitamin A deficiency causes night blindness, one of the first documented vitamin deficiency diseases. Eye health research supports a practical framework combining light exposure, near-work management, and nutrition. The core principle is simple: give your eyes the signals they were designed for. That means sufficient natural light exposure daily, regular distance viewing breaks from close work, and adequate nutritional support for the retina. For children especially, who are in the critical window for myopia development, the outdoor time intervention is so well supported that some countries, including Taiwan and China, have implemented government Research on eye health interventions shows different timelines depending on what is being addressed. For myopia progression in children, outdoor time shows measurable benefits within 1 to 2 years in randomized trials. For retinal nutrition, increasing lutein and zeaxanthin in the macula, measurable changes in macular pigment optical density appear within 3 to 6 months of dietary change. Here are the specific vision protective habits with the strongest research support. Spend at least 2 hours outdoors daily. This is the single most powerful myopia protective intervention known. Practice the 20-20-20 rule during all extended near work. Eat at least 1 serving of dark leafy greens, kale, spinach, collards, daily for lutein and zeaxanthin. Add 2 servings of fatty fish weekly for DHA. The research logic for vision is straightforward. If you spend less than 1 hour outdoors daily, then your retina is not receiving enough light to generate the dopamine signal that inhibits myopic eye elongation. If you add 2 hours of outdoor time, then research predicts meaningful slowing of myopia progression. If your diet lacks lutein and zeaxanthin, then your macular pigment is thinner than it should be, leaving you more vulnerable to blue light-related retinal damage. The myopia epidemic is real, it is accelerating, and it is largely driven by modern indoor lifestyles. But research has given us the solution. 2 hours of outdoor exposure daily is the single most powerful intervention, backed by randomized controlled trials in multiple countries. The mechanism is retinal dopamine. The cost is zero. Combined with the 20-20-20 rule, adequate lutein and DHA, and protecting your children's outdoor time, you have a complete, evidence-based vision protection protocol. Your eyes are the only ones you will ever have. The research is clear on what protects them: natural light, distance viewing breaks, and targeted nutrition. Start today by getting outside for at least 2 hours. It can be broken into multiple shorter periods. Practice the 20-20-20 rule starting with your next screen session. Add a handful of spinach or kale daily. These are not complex interventions.